Hey, what's going on, everyone? A bunch of people wanted me to talk about turpentine, so I just figured I would give you all a little bit of I'd just show you what's in my house right now and what cleansing looks like. And I don't like to give people direct, specific paths to do something. I like to give people the larger idea, meaning this. If you happen to live somewhere where you can obtain some of these things, then it'd be too difficult for you to kind of go, okay, well, what exact product do I need? What exactly is it? Oh, you mean I gotta have that with the thing, or no? I want to give the concept, and the concept of cleaning your internal environment is very, very, very simple. I'll just happen to point out some of the things I have here, and if you can get these and what they do, so you can have an idea of like there are what you would call allegory or things that are akin, things that run the same train track, things that do the same thing. Like no matter where you live in the world, you can find a plant substance that will do what it does. Like if you find some chamomile here, it make you tired and sleepy, and it has this kind of effect. You'll find that same kind of plant somewhere else. That it will be a different name, it will be a different plant, but it will have the same benefits. So in the same way, I'm just kind of give an overview of what these things are, and then talk about some of the things that are here. So when you're cleansing, it's most important to put water in your body, distilled water. You want to break up mucus. You want to break down anything in your body that is not necessary. Is not um, you don't need cancer to live. You don't need mucus to live. You don't need fat to live. You don't need. There are a bunch of things that you don't need that are going on in your body that you want to break down and pull apart and remove from your body. You have tubes all throughout your body, and all you need to do is make whatever substance is in your body as thin as possible and move it out of the tubes. So the concept is to thin out or to break apart all of the substances in your body and remove it so that it's not in the way of the electrical charge as well as the blood movement and everything else that's occurring in your body. That's what you want to do. That's the idea. And so it's a very simple idea. You can see it anywhere. You can see it just in a river. If a river is dammed up, it's not moving. The water becomes stagnant. If the water becomes stagnant, bacteria starts to grow, and the river starts to die. So moving water is what we're talking about. Movement of energy, water, electricity, whatever it might be. Very simple concept. And the way to do that in your body is through first cleaning up your bowel system by doing a bowel cleanse, because it's the biggest river. It's the river of life or death. And the easiest way to do that is to use blends of what you would call, there's two types of fiber, soluble and insoluble, meaning one will suck up and absorb and one will not. The one that sucks up and absorbs all of the things that you're putting into your track to remove it from your system, and the other one actually scrapes along the walls of your intestines to clean up the things that are already gunked up and pasted on there from all of the cake that you ate and all of the meats that are just sitting there in the crevices and all of these things. And so those are the two things that you need. Now you can consume those, and like a lot of people go, okay, we got to do this fast, and it includes, and as you see there, psyllium husk and bentonite and clay, and I have one of those is mixed up. I already mixed it up with some oatmeal and things, and we always make it so difficult. It's like, it's got to be so nasty and not tasty. But no, you can you can make a meal out of these things. Like just having oatmeal is a good choice. That's a good step in the right direction. If you just want to go all at it and do it, well, yeah, add some cinnamon to your psyllium husks and put some fiber in there, and that's what's going to be cleaning out your colon. And now, the bentonite and clay, a lot of people have said you put those together, the bentonite and clay and the psyllium. But it's been found that it works better if you go back and forth. If you would take the bentonite and clay, what it's going to do is it's going to contract everything in your colon walls and pull things out, and then the psyllium expands. Now think of contraction and expansion. So if you were to consume those back and forth like 45 minutes apart, that'd be a good idea. Now that's just going to clean up your colon. Now all the things that are going to clean up your blood and everything else, like you're going through and cleaning up your organs. So you have your colon, and you've got your liver and gallbladder, and you've got your kidneys. Your kidneys are filtering the blood, and which is turning into your urine, and this is why urine therapy is such a good idea. It's a diuretic for a lot of people, and it does a lot of wonderful things, and that will help a cleanse. But if you're not willing to go through if you're still kind of like, oh, I don't know about drinking my pee-pee, that's really weird. I'm not going to get into all that here, but it's a good idea. And if you don't, well, distilled water is the way to go. You ain't got to worry about putting salts in it. We're not playing that game here. I'll address that again if I need to in the future. I've got plenty of videos on that. I'm going to re-release those on salt and water. But what else do we got here? Oh, so I have talking about making a cleanse good, making it like tasty. Well, over there in the bottom right hand corner, I made an onion soup, and before that, it was the stock. Well, it was the leftovers that I had made from a veggie soup, and so I used that as a base, and then I used a bunch of onions. Onions are awesome. They're great for your body. Why? Well, look at them. Their signature is called. They look like a cell. They're built like a cell, and that's what they're good for. They're good for cleaning the cells of your body. Onions are highly, like, you can look at antifungal, antibacterial, etc., etc. If you take an onion and cut it in half and leave it out in your kitchen, it will absorb all the smell, all of the bad smell in your kitchen. Or you put an onion in your refrigerator and open it up, it'll take all of the disease and bacteria out of that. What do you think it's doing to your body? So onion soup is really, really good. And so my onion soup, the way I made it, I sweat the onions, and then that means just put it on the stove and heat them up and let them sit so it sweats out. Put a little bit of salt to help it open up remove all of the good juice from the onion and all of that delicious flavor. And then put some oil, and then I kind of browned some of them and put a little bit of garlic in there, mashed up some garlic, some raw. So I put some garlic in afterwards and before because I like the flavor and also like the benefits. And what else did I put in there? Oh, Romana root. One of my favorite things in the world, Romana root. Rehmannia. And they take the root and they steep it for, I don't know how long. I think they let it ferment for like 8 or 9 months in soy sauce. And it becomes this most wonderful, amazing flavor and has a lot of really good healing benefits. So I like to put that in there. It gives it a big, round, garlicky flavor. And then I just, thyme and all sorts of different spices. I mean, all of these spices are going to have benefits for your body. So make it spicy, make it delicious. Hot peppers, all of these things, all good for you. So that's a soup that I've been eating lately because I've craved it and I've enjoyed it, and I know it's cleansing my body. So that's just one thing that I add to my diet because I've done these things, these strict, okay, here's how to do it. Here's what we need to do for a week, and here's what, you gotta have the psyllium, then you gotta do this, and you can't. Yeah, I kind of got past that stage. A lot of people might need to do that. They might need that kind of like hand holding. This is the regimen. This is how it's done. But this is just to give an overview of how things work for people. So what else do I have on the counter? You can kind of observe for yourself. I have figs high in fiber, and they're delicious. So that's going to help move things out of my body, and then all that distilled water that I make. So I have things that help move things out of my body, things that absorb. So the detox of bentonite and clay and some psyllium that helps absorb things. And then I have the onions and all of this that is helping cleaning my blood. And then you'll see I have pure lemon juice and pure lime juice. I mean, yeah, great. They'd be better if I just got them right off the tree and juiced them. But you know what? For $8, I can get 30 lemons already juiced for me, and it's unpasteurized. That's crazy. That's awesome. And so I can wake up in the morning and just pour myself a giant thing of lemonade. Lemon juice, put a little bit of honey in there, some water, mix it up, and I do it inside of, and here's a little trick, I do it inside of a copper, if you'd seen my other videos, I do it inside of my copper vessel, and I have like 10 or 12 pennies in there. Here's all that other fun stuff. I'll re-release these videos if you guys aren't aware of what's going on here. I have 10 or 12 pennies in there that are pre-1982, means they're 97.5% copper, and beyond just the electrical charge that the copper provides, there's a lot of benefits to having copper in your body, and it will be, I don't know how much copper we're really getting out of it. I don't know how all of that works. I can't see down to the atomic level, and I don't have a microscope, but I do know that it's very uh, it's been used classically throughout the ages in a lot of very intelligent cultures that they'll put their food inside of either gold, silver, or copper vessels. So I've been doing that and found a great benefit to that. So I've got my wake up in the morning, clean myself out with some lemon lime juice, and then if I feel like eating it, if I'm hungry during the day, if I want to eat, that soup right there has been really good to me lately. And then if I feel like I need to move something through me, I'll have some figs. Always with the distilled water because we've got to keep everything moving. What else do we see there? Because people want me to talk about turpentine. Don't worry, I'm going to get there. Pure black. That is She Legit. She Legit is a living, organic mineral pitch. It's basically what salt is if salt was good and living. That's the concept. See, I tell people about salt. Like, salt is not a good idea because it's a dead inorganic material. Well, it has all of these elements, and it has 88 elements in it. Is what people say. But they're inorganic. We gotta be careful. But if you look at She Legit, it's organic mineral pitch. It's actually it comes out of the mountains, and the way they. I'm not going to get into all. You can do your own research on that, but trust, She Legit is pretty excellent stuff, and it's all living mineral system for your body. Now that I use now and then, but it's again, it's something that as I've put out there to people before, if your body isn't clean, if it's not clear, you're not going to be getting the benefits that you would be getting. It's pointless to put something very clean into a dirty house. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It would be pointless to put a lot of energy, a lot of fuel. Like, you wouldn't put jet fuel into a beat up 1986 Corolla. It wouldn't make any sense. So let's go on a little farther here. What do I got? Oh, okay. So the detox stuff to clean out your blood system and everything else going on inside of you. So I have turpentine. I have oregano oil, and I have. Well, I used to make. I still make tinctures of my own. I have a bowel cleanse made of wormwood. So wormwood, turpentine, and oregano. That's gonna destroy everything that you don't want in your body. It's going to get it out of your body. Worms, bacteria, etc., etc. Now here is the pitfall people get. I've done this to myself a long time ago, and it's terrible. They call it a Herxheimer effect or a detox reaction, meaning if you take too much of something that's a healing mechanism, your body still needs to get rid of it, and it's going to cause you a lot of pain to actually kill off, die off and kill off all of the bad wormies and all of the whatever's going on in your system. If you start killing that all too quickly, it's going to fill up your system and your blood, and it's going to cause you more pain and chaos than you really want. So you should be using these things in very small quantities. But turpentine works well. The idea is a couple people have said the best way to do it is with white sugar because that's what these worms want. And other people said no, we don't want to. We're getting away from the white sugars. We want to use just regular sugar. And some people say no, we want to use honey, and then some other people want to go no, let's use it inside of oil. Now, there's logic to all of these things. I don't know what is the best to do because, different times, different places, different people. I don't know how bad your body's all tore up. The way I would take it, the way I have taken it in the past, I mixed it with tequila. I mean, that was me. That's how I get down. Because I know of the benefits of the agave plant, and what tequila is a healing modality. So I was taking oregano oil, wormwood that I'd mixed inside of a vodka tincture that I made myself, and the turpentine, and that I found pretty beneficial. But again, you can the way that's said to do it is you take a couple of drops with some sugar, and so I think that might be the good route for most people, or honey. What else? What else do I got here? Oh, over here I got one of my shelves of my alchemical laboratory. I've got wormwood, I've got mugwort, I've got white willow bark, which is great. That's what they make aspirin out of. So you can make if you have pains and for your maladies, you can take white willow bark and turn it into a tea, and that's where they're getting the substance that makes aspirin. But you don't have any of the side effects of it. And what else do I got there? Oh, I got lotus stamens. That makes a nice tea at night. And what else there? Oh yeah. The best part of it here. This is something that I did videos on a long time ago, and I told people about this a lot. Cinchona bark, which is. So here's the quick story on the cinchona bark. Okay, this has to do with biophotons. It has to do with glowing in the dark. It has to do with how certain materials, how certain beings can't survive the light. Let's put it that way. So back in the 1400s, 1500s, I don't know. In England, it doesn't really matter where it was, but you got the bourgeoisie and the proletariat, and they were finding out that the people that were poor weren't surviving this plague. They weren't surviving. I don't remember what exactly was what people were coming down with, what the sickness was, but the rich people were surviving, and they were trying to figure out why. And they were figuring out that they were drinking gin and tonics. And in between the gin and the tonic, what they'd find is the gin has a bunch of different plant substances in it, which are very healthy. And then the tonic was made out of cinchona bark. And that cinchona bark was... So if you ever look at tonic in a store, you'll notice that it glows in a black light. Well, that's what the cinchona bark causes. It causes a glowing. And it makes for a pretty interesting long story to tell everybody about. But simply put, that is the thing, that is the element that was killing off the bacteria. So the cinchona bark. Now, if we take that into the next level of all the weird things that I like to talk about, like, what does it mean to glow in the dark, and how can we radiate more energy? Like, it's inside of the cinchona bark. So and it's a very bitter. It's a bittering agent. It's a bittering substance. That's why, gin and tonics. The tonic is a bitter thing. And so they'd always mix the tonic. The tonic would be a bunch of different elements as well, including lime, the peel of the lime, the skin of the lime, and a bunch of other different elements that were all about bitter and cleansing the body from the sugar based, like a lot of these. I'll take a little left-hand turn here for you guys. A lot of the things that are in the body that don't function well, that it craves. Those things crave processed foods and sugars, and those processed things. There's a lot of things that go on, like in the production and the outcome of the kind of molecule that these things are looking for, the molecular size and what it is that these other creatures are looking for, right? Inside of your body. That's why people have like worms and have all sorts of disease. And we always say, oh, it's sugar. Well, it's not necessarily sugar. It's the processing of it, and it's where it came from, and it's a bunch of other things that go on with it. Because certainly, fruit sugar is very, very good for you. Certainly, sugar cane, if we understand what it is, isn't bad for you. Like it's just the processing, and then we put bleach on it. Like if we start to get into what bleach is, and there's a lot going on there. But simply put, back to this whole thing here. I think I've covered everything. Milk thistle seed powder. That's good for what is that? Is it for your kidneys? Yeah, good for your kidneys. What didn't I cover here? I think the only thing else would be, everybody should consider doing enemas, especially coffee enemas. I found years ago I did a course of 20 coffee enemas over 5 days, and it was, it literally, my eyesight got better immediately. Like, I can't, like, it was crazy how much different my body felt and how much different I processed things, and how I went from having like really bad stomach issues to just like, whoa, I felt different. I felt lighter. My brain worked better. And the things that came out of me were just absolutely, like, I'm like, what is that? It was like black bile out of my liver and gallbladder. It was releasing ancient, disgusting, filthy, deranged bile out of my gallbladder and my liver. And like, wow, that was one of the craziest, most mind-blowing, like, and this is after, like, this is years after I'd already done a water fast. So I don't know if I just had not gotten everything out of me, and I think maybe I did it backwards. Maybe I should have done the water fast after I did the cleanse. But nonetheless, both of them had crazy benefits to me. So I think I covered everything that I wanted to here. We're gonna make food, you know, like Hippocrates said, let food be the medicine and medicine be the food, you know. So make your food taste good and just use good ingredients. You know, stick with one solid ingredient. Where you know what the onion's going to do. Use that. It helps clean up things. Cover the lemon lime juice. Detoxing. What else? Mugwort. Oh, there's mugwort. That's yeah, that's just a sleepy time tea. Another bitter element that's really good, and it's also good for dreaming. And you can look into the history of mugwort and its connection to the Muggles and the witches and all of this. Mugwort is great. It's also a good smokable plant if anybody's into that. I'll re-release that video too on smoking and the ancient practice of that, and how it's part of a lot of shamanic cultures and things. And what else do I got here? Anything else I want to cover? The Romana root, the figs, the water. Yeah, I think I covered everything. So I'll try to streamline this, but but again, I like to give people just the grand overview of like, hey, it's easy to clean up your body. Just stop eating the crap. It's easy to put these simple things in. There's, you know, the only thing people have to battle really is just a little bit of here and there, which is the, oh, I think I want that. Oh, it's this kind of like, you know, it's those things in your body that are actually saying, hey, I need that to survive. You have like little creatures living in you. Just think of it that way. It doesn't matter if they're just vibrations or frequencies, or they're actually like worms, or they're actually like, it doesn't matter how you think of it. It's like those little things that are saying, hey, I need that to survive. And so you go, and your brain goes, okay, well, I definitely need that. I need that to survive. No, you don't need that. You don't need that sugar thing. You don't need that cookie thing. You don't need that other thing, right? So it's just battling those couple little bit of inklings to say, hey, you're going to have to eat that. You need that. That's the only battle that you really have to fight. That internal struggle of like, what do I really need to consume? Because I mean, proof is you don't need to consume anything. Proof is, I mean, I've proven to myself, water fast for 43 days. I don't need to consume anything. I also can consume a lot. I mean, both of them have their places, you know, feasting, fasting. But for as far as cleansing, the idea here, just remove all of, you know, remove what's in your body that's in the way of electrical charges being made in your brain and in your blood, and remove the things that are in the way of actually nutrition getting to other parts of your body. And there's a couple more things you can do, which include hot and cold showers. You can take, you know, get in the shower, take a nice warm shower, and then as soon as you can, like throw the hot off so you get as cold as you can, and throw that right in your spine. Just turn around, get it right in your spine. That's a good place to do it. And get it all over your body too, but like that's a good spot right in the back of your neck there. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And then go back and forth as quickly as you can. That's going to cause your blood system, your veins, everything to constrict and then relax back and forth. And it's going to do a lot for relaxing you afterwards, including mental calmness and clarity as well. Let's go to the showers, cleansing. Oh yeah, and the skin in the showers too. Take some baths too. And what do you need for baths? You can use that clay on your skin, on your face, on your body to remove toxins, to pull it out of your skin that way, because your skin is your biggest organ. You can also use what's that green stuff called? I'm gonna have to go walk in here and see what it is. What is the green stuff? Well, you got this the old ancient healing Indian clay, which is really awesome. Aztec stuff. And then kelp powder. Kelp powder is awesome. That's great to put on the skin as well. What else do I got? Anything fun? Let's see what's in my drawers here for you guys. Yeah, there you go. That's good for the bath. Hot baths are good. And people can't be over concerned with like, oh, we're gonna get too much fluoride in our system, because opening up those your skin's portals to let out sweat and let things out of you, you're gonna be letting out a lot more than you're gonna be letting in during those situations. If you're in a hot bath, you're not necessarily gonna be collecting that all of the whatever chemicals are in the water, whatever heavy metals are in the water, the fluoride that's in the water, because your body's going to be pressurized from the inside, pushing out. That's why you be sweating. You know, if you get in a sweat lodge, if you go sit in a sauna, you're sweating, right? What temperature is 100 and something? You get in a bathtub, and you're going to be sweating. So what's happening? Your body's not letting things in. You're pushing things out, right? The only times that you might be letting something in is if the bath gets into a warm place where it's just warm, and that way, I mean, you can even look at the word. It's called warm. It's a war. We're not gonna get too far with that fun game, but yeah. I think that's gonna cover everything that I wanted to here. You know, I'll definitely streamline this for everybody and give you a better rundown for people that are like a little more linear processing. How they process things, but this was more just an overview. I hope this covered everything. One last thing. Oh, here you go. Here's one last thing. Don't forget, ground yourself out on the earth. Stare at the sun when you can. If you can't, at least get your face in it. And there was one more thing that I wanted to. Oh yeah, your brain. Oh, for people that have Alzheimer's. Yeah, looks like I got some old timers. The way you clean your brain up. See, your brain is the same. Your brain has the same type of mechanism as your body does, as in veins and arteries and a lymph system. Veins and a lymph system, let's put it that way. You know, your lymph is trying to get something out. Well, in the past, I used to think that the brain only had one system of tubes to let in and out material. And they thought, so think of it this way, it'd be like your mouth. You would shit out of your mouth as well as eat out of your mouth. That's what they thought was happening. I mean, that's what they thought was happening in people's brains, because they couldn't see that there's actually a smaller vessel tube inside of the bigger tube. So it'd be like your vein having a vein inside of it, and inside of that vein was getting pressured outside of it. So during the daytime, your brain is uptaking, and during the nighttime, it's down, it's pushing out. And this goes into some of the other things that I was telling people about the nighttime and the daytime elements. And this has to do with the sun and the moon as well, and pressurizing in the system. So what they thought was happening is the brain was getting clogged up. And for people with Alzheimer's, the brain was clogged up, and they weren't spitting out any of the gunk and the whatever was in their brain, like salts and heavy metals and whatever. It was all sluggish. And basically this is because there wasn't enough water in it. And so by putting more water in your system and getting into your brain, what's happening, and what they found out is there's actually a tube inside the other tube that's going to be pushing out all of the waste from the brain's waste. Water becomes stagnant, and it gets like murky and thick and gelatinous because there's not enough water in there. The way you put water into your brain is by having no other fluids in your system and consuming just distilled water. So from your stomach, there's a process. I forget what it's called and how exactly it works. But basically, if you consume just distilled water on an empty stomach, it's going to go into your spine and get into your brain. And that's what we want to happen. And we have to realize there's a density happening here. And by laying down or doing handstands, we're helping to force that water into the brain to clean out the brain. So just a little consideration for how to make your brain function better. And people with brain disorders, there's a way to do that with distilled water. And your body should have so much water in it. And if it's the only time that water is going to, here, let me do one more little, because I get in this little tangent here. This is why people can dream at night, and you're not dreaming while you're standing up. Think about it. If your body was 100% water, there'd be water to the top of your head. But if we're dealing with densities here, and you're standing up on your feet, and you're 70% water, well, that water is not going into your brain, now is it? But if you lay down at night, what happens? Where does the water go? How does the water flow? Your water would be, now, the fluid would be up to a certain point in your body. Instead of being, say, up to your shoulders when you're standing up, it would be up to like somewhere in your skull. So the water is actually going up your spine into your brain, which actually gives you a lot of ideas about, going across the sea, and these ideas of dream worlds and going through the seas. Now, start to consider everything else I've said about cleaning your blood and how much water should be in your system, and increasing the amount of water in your system and cleansing the system, and imagine what that will do for your brain and your dreams. So, as always, stay awesome, do cool things, and inspire the world. And if you can't do that quite yet, just inspire yourself enough to cleanse your body. Talk soon, y'all.